Hello, YouTube modeling community. This is Rusty Rotor with What's on My Bench. Thank you to everybody that wished me to get better. I do feel a little better today. Not a whole lot, but a little bit better. So I know I'm getting there. We're going to touch base on a few things here real quick. Try to keep this as short and simple because I had some major video issues yesterday. I apologize for that you guys were only seeing like this part of me and part of the car, and it was a mess. But like I said, I'm not a pro at any of this. That's from the very beginning to the present. I've rattled on a few videos, or a couple videos this week. Touch base on that real quick. And I don't even know their names, so I can't really use them as reference. I've seen their work and I know their names, but there's guys that are 1,000 times better than me. Let's just put it that way. I've always had to figure ways to manipulate a model to the way I envision it, because at the end of the day, like HPI guy always says, build for you and you alone, not all these other guys and cats out there. That's positivity, because that's true. At the end of the day, you should be building for you and you alone. Don't build to try to compete with me. Excuse me. Not that you wouldn't surpass me. I've met young men that are as old as 10, 12 years old that are doing things to model cars that I would never even think of doing, or could I achieve their level. And that's the great thing about modeling. There's a zillion different levels that you can be at. People place things in categories. Pro builder. I'm not a pro builder. I mean, I've entered pro contests, so I kind of have to consider myself as a professional. And I do hold an art degree. So I mean, I have all the little titles and the inclusiveness, whatever the words are. But I'm not. I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, and that hampers itself. I put walls up in front of myself that sometimes I can't climb over, because I do envision perfection. I have a certain way I want it to look, and I try my damnedest to achieve that. And it doesn't always happen because I didn't take the time to figure that out and plan. I've not done enough of it to know that, okay, this is where I'm going to have problems. This is where this will go really smooth. But the longer I build, I'm achieving those little things by repetitiveness. So I say, balling on a budget. You go to model shows. Even if you're not a big time builder, you may build one model a year. Still go to a model show and look for those vendors that's got stuff just in tubs and in little Ziploc baggies like this. Well, not like that. Bad reference. Like this. Not this vendor, but they'll have model car parts, from models that they've gone and bought a slew of models that were damaged. And they'll take the time to go through it and cut off the parts off the sprue, and they'll put all the little parts in baggies, and they sell them for a dime a piece, a nickel a piece, a quarter a piece, $3 a piece, whatever it is. Excuse me. Those are your best weapons, so to speak. Not only you might get some cool parts that you need or you're wanting to use for another build, and if you're a build by build guy, that can come in super handy. But they also have bodies, whether they're already painted or they're damaged. It doesn't matter. It's a canvas. It's a blank canvas to you. Even if it's purple, it's a blank canvas to you. It's something you can take, bring home, practice wet sanding the paint that's on it, sanding it down, getting it smooth. Work on how to work out blemishes, how to It's all you're perfecting your techniques that's going to help you achieve a better quality finish. That's why I push for that. Not to make those vendors money, but that's the nature of the beast. They're providing a product. You're providing the the demand for it, and in return you use your hard-earned money and you buy that product from him. That keeps him buying damaged models and taking the time to separate all the pieces and bagging them up and bring them in big tubs for you to buy. That's what keeps this hobby alive. That's just one level of it, but that's the best way to do it. Prime example. Let's say you're building a 58 Impala, like we're doing here, the Ala Impala, and you foobar something up, and you're like me, you only buy one kit. Well, by going to a show, that some shows don't have vendors, but most of them do, but they come there, you may get lucky in one of those vendors that has all those massive parts. You may find the part that you fubbered up in there for a quarter or 50 cents. So now you got a fresh start versus spending $30, whatever, on another kit. Or if you've got a build in mind you're getting ready to do and you want to try to stock up on some extra pieces that you know that you're going to kind of modify and you may not get it down right and you want some options, it's another good way. These are all great tips. These are self-taught to me. I've learned this of the balling on the budget, how to figure out ways of not spending a lot of money, but achieving what I'm trying to do. Guys, I'm just like you. I started off working in a tiny little space, and I did that all my life. I've had a nice, decent-sized desk, but I always worked on a single desk space or a kitchen table, and I built my models, and when I was done, it went up on a shelf, not in a display case. It got years of dust built up on it and ruined them. Or I gave them away, or whatever the case may be. I'm blessed in the sense that when my wife said you need to get back into that hobby, she says I know you really liked it, and now's the time you really got nothing to do. We just moved into the house, and our first grandchild's on its way, and there was a lot of factors. And I said, well, I do have some stuff I could probably build one. I had a few of the older kits, so you've seen them. The 68 Camaro was the first one I got out. And I built it, and it all come rushing back in. And I was like, you know what? I said, honey, if I get back into this hobby, I want to do it full blown. I want to go all the way. I want to get all the equipment I can get, the best paints, the tools, the brushes, aftermarket parts. If I go into this, I'm going into it full force. She said, okay, that's fine. She was supportive. She still is. And it's grown into this chaos and madness you see now. But this is my hobby. This is my passion, and this is my way to vent, escape reality. Revert back to being a child. However people that don't understand the hobby perceive it. But I don't want anybody to think that let's put it this way. I'm OCD on organization. I'm a perfectionist. Therefore, that makes me a huge critic on my own work. My own worst nightmare. And I say that because up here, I envision it being perfect. I take it from there, and I take my lump of clay, so to speak, and I mold it, and I sculpt it, and I do, and then I run into a roadblock hard, and I'm like, this doesn't fit, this doesn't work. Now I got to start doing what I don't want to do to it, and that's eating it away, chipping it away, cutting it away, all these things. Where other guys, they're like, oh, okay, well, I know, this motor's not going to fit in there, so they mock it all up, they dry fit, and they put the whole model together. It's just, they use Elmer's glue. That's the best way to do it. Take your parts off the sprues, clean them up, get all the mold lines off of them, the little nip from where you cut it off, get that all off there, and use Elmer's glue. Because what you do is when you're done, you take it and you soak it in a vat of hot water, bowl, sink, whatever you got, and that Elmer's glue eats away. And it just washes right off. It's the easiest way to mock up a model. So if you're using an aftermarket engine or tires and wheels, what's going to fit, what's not going to fit. I do that to a degree because I'm impatient too, which is another thing in my own worst enemy. Because I have this vision. Damn it, it's going to be this way. And it's not. This Buick flowed so beautifully. I fought with this, and I left it alone for a few days, and then I went ahead and started working on this, and then it kind of all came together. It's not perfect, but it all came together. So my vision worked out. The tires and wheels, cutting access, get them in there, that all worked beautifully. Front tires and wheels worked beautifully. The engine was a really good fit. I knew I would have to modify maybe to a degree, but then other things came along. Actually marrying everything together, finding out there was some fitment issues. I had to eat away at part of the frame where the headers are hitting down here. Now they clear, which is okay. And I had to do a little work on the subframe here for the engine, the cradle. But you can't really see it from looking at it underneath, which is great. It's a good way to hide it if you're successful at doing that. Other models, they're butchered, all the pieces underneath. Prime example. I go to a show, even though I spent a year building this thing, even though it looks good, look at that front suspension. There is no cradle. But my mounts are up here to hold the engine in place. So, I mean, it's a truly modified suspension all the way. It was modified around that engine to get it to fit. As where it started off to fit perfect, and then all the ugliness started rearing its head. And it's kind of like with this Buick. That turned out pretty good. I got some flaws to fix on it before we come to Acme, but decals flawed me. The hood fought me. And this is one of the easiest things to do, and it fought me. But, you know, some others, decals are easy. They're not to me. They never have been. I've got all the proper tools, the solvents and everything else, the Q-tips, the tweezers, the scissors. You know, I got everything to do it. It's just I avoid them like the plague. Therefore, I don't have a lot of experience in them. And it shows on every model that has any size of a decal on it. Little decals are, you know, they're simplified. They're just in place, work it out, and clear coat over them, done with them. And they turn out really good. I am very good at pinstriping. Problem is finding pinstriping to scale is another story. I've gotten a technique down to where I can rip a 1/16 of an inch pinstriping down and get a 30 size, and that's about scale if you just want a single pinstriping down the side of a car. And that's using a piece of glass and some tape and a sharp blade and a straight edge and going down along it. It's tedious. It's very hard to do. Another way is to mask and then lay your pinstriping down and then lay the mask over top of it and then cut through all that. And then when you pull it all back, it leaves a thin little line. There's several techniques of doing it. I avoid a lot of that because it's, again, two-tone paint jobs, unless I get a lot of sloppiness between the colors, that's the only time I'll lay a pinstripe over to cover up all that mistake. Other than that, you know, crisp lines. That's what judges want to see. They want to see crisp paint lines. This is crisp and clean. There's no flaw in that. That's all hand masked off and painted. It needs to be polished a little bit. It's getting dirty. But I got to touch up a little bit on the back. That one was built for show. I took a year to build it. I stopped working on it for a while. It was giving me fits and fights. And then I left it alone. I got a new perspective on it. The Buick, I'm kind of rushed now because I want to get it done. I do want to take it to Acme for good or bad. I'm not worried about it winning anything. If it does, kudos. Today's project is to get the pulleys to fit it and get that done so I can get the radiator in it. And then I can let that dry and make my final connections. I can run my wires from my alternator, get the MSD box in there, and get the wires ran from that, get the battery wired up, so on and so forth. And it's pretty much just touch up here and there of little details. This, once it cures out after I clear it today, then I can remask it off and redo the matte. Like I said, we're avoiding the little white right here. It's all going to be black. It's just too much to try to do. My nerves can't handle it. And my patience can't handle it anymore. So maybe years ago I would have fought a little harder to achieve that. It's not looking good. Kind of looks good there, but you know, you're viewing it through a camera. That's why I said you're going to see it in person, and you may understand then, oh, holy crap, that would be super hard to mask off, or you know, whatever, putty in there like I used to reserve that white so it shows. If I was building this just to sit on my shelf, I'd leave it alone, just like it is right now. I wouldn't do nothing else to it. Coat of wax over it. Whoa, and not drop it. And finish it up and put it on my shelf. I did notice the older Buick GSX does not have this chin spoiler. I do have to rob it for the marker light for the front bumper, so this is complete. But really, I've only got a few days left in this, and I'm kind of taking my time now at this point to try to make it as best as possible. The other ones are already all done. They are what they are. I'll clean them up a little bit, and hopefully they do okay. If they don't, it's not the end of the world. I just don't want anybody to think that I am this and that, and I'm not. Talked to Ryan yesterday. I went ahead and seen pictures of the Diora. Just like, you know, I had figured somebody had already put these wheels on a build. And, you know, he'd seen them, but he's not. It's the first time he'd seen them. Excuse me. And he was blown away. Now, look, guys, patience. I hand painted that red line. It's prominent, but it's not super prominent. But I was able to do it. I used one of those little micro eyeliner paintbrushes, and I achieved that. I used Vallejo flat red, and then I came over with a matte varnish over top of it to protect it. I hand painted the black inside the wheels. I did prime the wheels, and I did airbrush the chrome. And I gave them a good 24, almost 30 hours to cure out before handling them. Because Molotow, if you know anything, it's still a beast of its own. You gotta be careful handling it. And then, you know, I got them all glued together, got them mounted on the suspension. Suspension does sit on all 4 tires. The engine is garbage, but then again, this is a Hot Wheels build. You know, we're replicating a Hot Wheels. The body, I showed you yesterday, my video was crap. Again, I apologize. But, you know, this isn't perfect. There's flaws in this. But what I go by, the thought process is this is what I want to achieve. And I've achieved it. And the little bit of flaws that are in that is not a big deal. I am going to take it to Acme because I do want kind of get the word out there about these wheels. Because there's a lot of guys and girls that are Hot Wheels fanatics. And they've probably never ever thought about, hey, you know, model cars are out there all over the place. But they love Hot Wheels so much, they could build a model car and replicate their Hot Wheel in a bigger scale. And how cool is that? Now, I can take it a step further. Say you got kids, grandkids, whatever, and they're into Hot Wheels. Excuse me, guys. Simplified kits, like this Dior, even though it's a beast of its own, it can be super simplified. These wheels can be made to roll. What better being a little kid? Imagine being a 6, 7, I wouldn't recommend a 4 or 5-year-old because they'd break in 5 minutes, but a 7 or 8-year-old that's got a little more patience and a little more understanding of what he's holding. You could make bigger Hot Wheels out of model cars. Even snap-tight kits, even the Hot Wheels brand through AMT, you can get these wheels from Ryan Jones and put on there and replicate the Hot Wheel and let the kids play with them. It's a good way to get them involved. It's a snap-tight kit. Have them help you snap it together. Help them put, because they give you stickers or decals. Put those stickers on there. Let them do that. Good or bad, doesn't matter. They're getting to do it. And then you take the time and paint the tires and wheels, and you put them on there so they will roll for them, and they get to sit down and play with that. It's a big Hot Wheel. I mean, I will marry this together real quick. This is how simplified this thing is. 2 seconds, it's in there. Look at that. Is that not cool? And I did get the surfboards painted yesterday. Let me put this on there the right way. I'm just going to set it there. It's not straight. But you get the, I'll hold it and tip it up. You can see the surfboards on there. You know, that's the way the Hot Wheels is. And if you don't believe me, there you go. There's the picture. There's my thing. It's not the exact same shade of green. I could have got this shade of green because they make it. And you get it in a jar. There's a Diecast Resurrection. He used to, well, he did, and then he took a break, and then he came back on. Now he's not doing it again. But he restores Hot Wheels and bigger diecast. There's a company that makes the paint. You can get, I could have got the actual, but I didn't want to put that kind of pressure on somebody. It's bad enough you had to go get a set of the wheels. But I could have got the exact same color. But my representation of it's really close. And to the T. My glass is accurate. My interior is accurate. The tires and wheels are accurate. So on and so forth. And that's all that matters. But I want to get that to Acme. I want it to sit on the table with Ryan Jones's card there. And he's supporting me by sending us great products to look at. This is my way I can support him. Hopefully it musters up enough people that they get interested and they contact him and they get a set of wheels so they can do something like that. Excuse me. And maybe next year they'll hunt me down, drop me a sub, and they'll get involved in the group build. I'm having a blast with this. So much that I want to just do these constantly. And we are going to take a break on the Pro Touring. The last Pro Touring model that we're going to be building for the year is the Ring Brothers Charger. The Gray Stang is a resto mod. And then quite a bit through next year. I mean, we'll be visiting a lot of gassers, a lot of box stock builds for the gas station and garage diorama. The maybe one or two cars will be sitting on the display of the Ghostbusters. Those are just going to be box stock. The ambulance is pretty much box stock. Just going to paint it and detail it and weather it as best I can to make it look real. I do want to delve into the lighting, all aspects of the diorama. I'm not never really done it for say. I've done it for like HO trains and stuff. I know it's kind of similar, but this new little LED stuff is something. But I do want to try it. So we have all that coming down the pipeline. And like I said, you hit that thumbs up, thumbs down, bell notifications so you know when these videos come out. Again, I'll be at Acme. I'll be bringing shop cards. If I haven't already got one to you, just, don't be shy. Walk up, say hi, introduce yourself. This is the worst part of it. And I'll sign one and give it to you. And we can talk, whatever, hang out. We'll be hanging out with everybody else. We're not worrying about what I put on the table. It's getting hot in here, that's why. Sorry. But I'm going to put what I'm bringing on the table. And that's it. I'm going to present it as best as I can. I'll have a build sheet next to each one of the builds, describing what the build's name is, the manufacturer of the kit, so on and so forth. Parts, aftermarket parts, 3D parts, all that jazz. And I will be giving credit due to whoever I got the products from on there also. But that's as far as I'm taking it. I don't care about it after that point. At the end of the day, if I don't get any warts, I don't get any warts. I'll gather up all my models, I'll pack them back up, and I'll bring them back home. The biggest thing is getting to meet everybody. And some of you that don't really have a channel, you have a channel, but you don't You just get on here to watch other videos, and you guys go to model shows. I get to meet you guys too. So the channel is struggling. I just make that simple. Same issue. Gain X amount of subs, and I lose all those plus some. It's happening again. I don't know what it is that's causing that, and at this point, I really don't care. I'm done with it. I love everybody that follows me and has come on this journey with me. For whatever reason, it brought you here. If it was a reference from somebody else, you know, most of these guys that referred you to come to my channel these are friends, because I've communicated with them over the years. You know, they've seen my work all on Instagram, or they've actually seen my work at a show or in person, whatever it may be. They referred you to come here, and I greatly appreciate that. And, you know, always down in the description, Mark at Hobby Nut Models. He busts his ass constantly to bring new stuff to the store, to help us. You know, there's me, there's Matthew at Model Car Videos, there's Jason at Blue Ox Model Shop. I don't know if there's others. There could be. I'm not aware of them. But, you know, us three, you know, he busts his ass to send us stuff to present to you, to give you a good look at it. And his link is down below. You guys hit that. Go check out something. Even if it's a pair of tweezers, go pick up a pair of tweezers. It helps this channel. It helps Mark. And in return, that we talked about a few minutes ago, that Rocky world go round, round, round. That's all of it. Same way when you go to a vendor at a model show, you buy a little baggie of 50 cents. That 50 cents goes to him and helps him buy more parts down the road to bring to you, to get you what you need and want. And his need and want is to make money. I'm not making money, but I'm getting great things here that I put my time and effort into to show you guys, whether it's tips and tricks or, you know, my technique in building. But we are going to take a break from the Pro Touring. I am slowly getting burned out on it again. The Ring Brothers Charger is a different ballgame. And we may bust that out before we get Wife's Choice and Alla Impala done, which is Viewer's Choice. Because those will be done by the end of the year. Don't fret on that. Come hell or high water, I'll have those done. But I want to get this done because that is my last Pro Touring one, before I start delving into other things that I have a lot of enjoyment out of too. And I want to show you guys that side of me, how I build a slam truck, how I do a rat rod, and of course, hopefully the finish up and completion of the 60/66 C10. Now that we've got the masking we need, there's nothing stopping us from doing it but doing it. So I want to get on those. So hopefully by the end of the year we have at least the 1950 Chevy pickup truck done, the Ring Brothers, the Gray Stang, the 60/66, Viewer's Choice and Wife's Choice. We have all those wrapped up, and it's very, very obtainable method. I mean, it is creeping up fast, but I think we can get it done because a lot of these things are close to being done anyways. It's a matter of a few days, no more than a week, to finish up this, that, or the other. But I will get off here. I want you guys to have a safe and wonderful weekend. Hopefully you get some bench time. Tune in Monday for Mental Monday mail call. Probably not mail call. I think the Mental Monday, I've been working on this for a while. I think we're going to kind of bust that out and go over it. And my ideas on how I'm going to start doing it. And maybe you guys will have some input to me about it. And that'll give me some tips. Because it's a avenue I've not really delved into that much. I've discussed it a few times, but we're going to get a little more into it. So that'll be probably a topic of discussion for Monday. And so until then, thank you again to all my past, present subscribers. If you're not subscribed, hit that bell notification. You'll know when these videos come out. A lot of stuff coming down the channel. Some small, some huge. And the faster we make that mark, the faster that giveaway is going to happen. And I think everybody will be happy at the end of that. and we can move on to the next challenge for the channel, and that's the next, next level, next giveaway. So until all that happens, guys, this is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.